What's going on, guys? My name's Andy and I'm going to show you all the basics so that you can get started on acoustic guitar right away. But the difference is I'm going to be showing you all these things left-handed. I have strung my Faith acoustic guitar up left-handed, so the thickest string is now on this side, and I'm going to be demoing the easiest chords to play on guitar, easy strumming patterns, and a couple of easy songs that I would recommend for absolute beginners, but testing them on myself to see if I can play them as well. Now, before we get started with the playing, and I'd love you to play along with me, but to do that you'll need to make sure that your guitar is in tune. You can do that with any number of free guitar tuner apps, which you can download for free and get started that way, or you can check out my video just here, which is how to tune an acoustic guitar or any guitar into standard tuning. You can do that video using a guitar tuner or not. It will work for either, so check that out. Make sure your guitar's in tune and let's learn how to do this together. Let's get started with the easiest chords. So the first thing to double check is to make sure the guitar is sat really close into your body. That's going to make it a lot easier. It may seem easier to have the guitar sliding down your knee like this so that you can see your fingers easier, but we don't want to encourage that. We want it right into the body. That can be harder on acoustic guitar, but if we sit the arm on top, that should be a lot easier. And then, trust me, this feels just as unnatural for me as it might do for you, but we've got a lot more chance of some success if that's the case. What we're going to do then is go for something called the E major chord, which for short we just call it the E chord, and that's with our first finger at the first fret of the third string, middle finger and then third finger here, and we strum all 6 strings. Now you can do that with your first finger. There we go, my first chord left-handed. We can do this with our thumb just here, or you can do that with a pick. Now, a pick's going to feel quite unnatural in the beginning, but as soon as you start using up strums, basically, whenever you're going for any strumming patterns with up strums, that is when typically we need to get started using a pick. Until then, you can just use your thumb or just use your first finger or get started with a pick right away. If we do use a pick, we want to try and hold it between the thumb and the first finger, and then it will sound a little bit louder, a little bit brighter, and hopefully a little bit better, though it feels super unnatural, trust me, in the beginning as it does for me now. The next chord I would recommend for anyone to learn is the A major, and we'd strum that from string 5. Now the A major, as I can feel already, is a lot harder to press down compared to the E. That is why we start with the E major and then go for the A major. And then the next chord I would recommend after that is the D major, which is this. Now that is very tough to get ringing out. I had a little strum through before I started filming here. And this is something that I did work through on my side project, which is called Another Guitar Show. We did a little feature on that where we also had a go at these things. I'll leave a link in the top corner. But that's why I don't recommend that we learn the D first of all. We need to get a few songs under our fingers, at least one first of all. And that song, as some of you may have seen, I recommend that we learn Buffalo Springfield's For What It's Worth. The song's called For What It's Worth. And that would just be strumming the E chord for 1 bar, and then the A chord for 1 bar, strumming on the beat, which I'll have a go at now, but I'll leave the link to that lesson if you want to look at this in more detail. That would be... Oh yeah! And essentially, what I would encourage any beginner to do, and if I was seriously learning guitar left-handed, which some of you may dare me to do now, I'm very aware of that, what we'd be doing is trying to do that for around 3 minutes, which is really, really tough. But what we want to encourage first of all is these quicker changes and getting everything to feel more comfortable. You'll have a lot more success if you learn more songs with fewer chords and try and learn those songs as much as you can all the way through. Those recommended songs are in my 10-day acoustic guitar starter course, and also you'll find loads more song options in my wider beginners course, which is available in the description and at andyguitar.co.uk, and for Android users currently on the Andy Guitar app. So this D chord, a lot trickier to ring out, and we need to be careful not to strum the thicker 2 strings. And definitely getting that thinnest string to ring out is always a challenge. for any beginner, including myself now, because I'm putting myself in the beginner shoes, learning the wrong way around. But that, we can play so many songs. Well, I've got a list of 10 songs that we can play just with the E and the A, so you've got plenty of options. And then there's at least 30 songs that we have just with E, A, and D, with those 3 easy chords. From there, there's, as I say, a wider beginner's course that I offer, but one thing that you can get started with straight away, and I want to show you as much as possible that an absolute beginner can do, including a few more easy songs, few easy riffs. We can change between what we call a G chord, but we're going to add the 3rd and little finger here. So this is what this a G chord with all fingers, or an all fingers G, sounds like. And then we can change to something called a C add 9, which is a guitarist way of playing a C major chord, but making it sound a bit cooler and be a lot easier to change to. That's the C add 9 to the G chord. And there are quite a few easy songs that you can play with that as well. My number 1 recommendation for that would be Love Me Do by the Beatles, which goes a little something like, this one is a lot trickier by the way, so I'm going to struggle with this one, forgive me. Love, love me do. Love, love me do. Whoop, there we go, I told you it was trickier. Here we go. You know I love you, I'll always be true. Going a little bit ropey towards the end there, but that's Love Me Do by the Beatles. So please, love me do. Whoa, love me do. Now you can hear with this, the strumming's gone a little bit to pot. The chord changes aren't as easy as they were before. It's just a tougher chord. I've got big lines on my fingers. It's hurting. The things that really help the lines on your fingers are making sure you're at the good side of the fret. So you've got to be at this side of the fret and not at this side. So this, we count the frets 1, 2, 3, 4, but we want to be at this side, this fret area here, and not at this side. So if I'm going for this 3rd fret, don't be in the middle, be at this side. That will really help with any of the chords that you're going for. Now, because I encourage you guys learning full songs as soon as possible, that would be ideally songs that just stay the same all the way through, but your fingers are going to seriously hurt if we're doing that, you know, more than 10 minutes a day, and I'm really only recommending 10 to 15 minutes 4 to 5 days a week to get started with. Otherwise, it's just going to be so much pain for your fingers, you're not going to want to do it every day, and that's where the real benefits are felt. Doing it a little bit, 10 minutes a day for 10 days is a great challenge to set yourself. But one thing that we can get started with right away is some easy riffs on one string, or some easy melodies on one string. One great one that I'm sure you'll all be aware of is a way of playing Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. Such a great song, great riff. The chords for most of the song are just E and A. I link to this song in the description, and also we can play the riff, he says with confidence, which goes hopefully something like this. Hopefully that sounded a little bit like the song Satisfaction as you recognise it, but it's just something a little bit different, a little bit of fun, and of course I'm aware that I'm ahead of the game here. I know what frets to hit, I know what different things to try, and that's what I'm trying to share with you now. Things such as rhythm and timing, where to put your fingers. Of course, an absolute beginner isn't aware of these things, so it's something to really be aware of, to go easy on yourself and try and only, you know, play guitar for 15 minutes at a time, and then if you want to play for longer, just have a little break, just even 5 or 10 minutes, rest your fingertips, and then get back to playing, and you'll have a lot more success. Just hammering it for 2 hours and then not playing the guitar for a week or two is not the best way to make progress. I highly recommend, if this has been something fun and you've enjoyed this video so far and you want to take this guitar playing thing further, check out my free 10-day starter course here on YouTube. That is my fast track for you guys to make the most amount of progress in the shortest amount of time, but still being realistic to what a beginner can hope to achieve achieve in 10 days. And if it takes you a little bit longer than 10 days, the videos are always there for you. There is no pressure, but trying to make sure you pick up your guitar each day for 10 minutes a day, most days, at least for around a couple of weeks, you will make massive progress if you do that. I'm looking forward to doing another one of these videos tomorrow for electric guitar. There's a lot more things that we can look at on electric guitar, but no matter whether you're learning electric or acoustic, it all comes back to the basics of strumming chords if you want to learn guitar in the pop and rock genres, which is primarily what I cover on this Andy Guitar YouTube channel. I hope this has been a bit of fun. You'll find more helpful links in the description, or as I say, if you've liked this video, check out my free 10-day starter course here on YouTube, and I think that will be the best way forward for your playing. Then you can check out more of what I have available on the Andy Guitar YouTube channel and website and app, which is available on Android. All the best with your guitar playing, guys. I promise you it's the most fun thing in the world, and I hope to see you again in one of my videos.